Yay, boobs. And crap, I'm out of tea, so now I'm getting weird. But there I'm just reviewing some of the old drawings. You probably saw some better scans of them in the last video where I introduced some of my alien races. And one thing I like about the idea of them being alien races is that it's part of my sci-fi work. And in terms of science fiction, they can all kind of exist in a universe, and the universe can be expansive enough that if they're on like an isolated planet, then some of them never have to even meet, but they can meet because they are all grounded in a scientifically based world, and there isn't like conflicting magic crap or whatever. I don't know. I just haven't gotten into systems of magic and power or whatever. So I just kind of preferred like usually whenever I'd design my characters, it'd be based on like biology, anatomy, uh, for some of it, and then the other elements I'd bring in would be like a consideration or consideration of like human perception, in the respect that if I want these characters to be liked by humans, I try and add characteristics that would make people like them. Like what's the word? Is it neoteny? Uh, neoties? Is that it? It's this idea where like they love people love creatures or things that have baby-like features, where they have like big eyes, out of proportion things, softer curves, etc., etc. So, like, especially the Quadrocculli, and she is on the far left corner of this drawing. She has four eyes, and two of them are very, very large, borderline like anime eyes. Although they aren't anime eyes, because I hadn't started drawing anime yet. In fact, as of this video, I don't think I've actually drawn a lot of anime yet, or manga type characters. I mean, I'd like to. Maybe I'll do some of that for this channel. A lot of potential for boobs. There's going to be boobs in this video too, so you know. Like the Diplobrachii I'm drawing right now, she actually has four boobs, because the boobs sit on top of the pectoralis muscles. And both males and females of our kind too have breast tissue, as well as the pectoralis muscles underneath the breast tissue. But in terms of canon, like in terms of the novels I've actually written, the Quadrocculli, the long-eared girl that I'm drawing right now, she is the only one who hasn't met these, who hasn't, like, she's the only one new here, and that's why I kind of wanted her to look uncomfortable and out of place. Because the other three are beings that all exist in one book and on one planet. Like, the center one is called a snake eye. They have four eyes, the legs are interesting. I wanted them to be more creature-like, but also still kind of womanly and seductive and kind of humanish in the like the thighs, but then like they could stand up taller, but if they just walk around kind of normal, they have like that reptile leg. They also have breasts. I just made that more along the lines to just make them more appealing. The not the Quadroculi, the Diplobrachii. Brachii meaning arm, diplo meaning two, so, or double, essentially. So the forearms. So Diplobrachii are the forearms. The Quadroculi are quadoculi, four eyes. Which, I mean, gets kind of confusing because like three of the four characters on this sheet have four eyes, but like the Humgarrian is kind of small and elf-like with pointed nose and little pointed ears and black eyes and sharp teeth. The Quadroculi has the long ears, kind of bumpy, kind of horn-like hair, the four eyes, and is kind of human-like. But of course, the two dynamic ones on the page are the snake eye and the Diplobrachii. And that's because in the story, the Diplobrachii hate the snake eyes, and actually try to convince the humans to go to war and help them annihilate the snake eye. Of course, the quadrocculli, Diplobrachii. So forearms, they hate the snake eyes, and they see the humans as also being mammals, and so they figure that they can team up and take out the scourge of the reptiles or whatever. And so in the book, the portrayal is that the forearms are kind of just hyper aggressive. And I mean, technically, these are studies where I was just kind of trying to review the anatomy or even create anatomy. Like if you remember the drawings from the last video, there weren't drawings for the Humgarrian. And the drawings for the Diplobrachii forearms were kind of underdeveloped. And so now I'm just kind of experimenting and trying to push and see what I can do with it. And like there are different things I want to do. So like for the reptile, honestly the most detail work and the most development, I kind of like the effort into developing the characters went into the snake eye female and the quadrocculli female, because those two, and you can tell kind of that they look more empathetic, they look sweeter, and they look borderline more arousing than the other two, because I wanted them to be more well liked, and I wanted the readers in the audience to be more on their side. The Diplobrachii, the forearm creature, I wanted them to be like, I wanted them to be wanted, but I wanted them to be kind of over aggressive, and thus I wanted them to be a little more mean and harder to empathize with or sympathize with. And so I made them more beastly and more difficult to feel for. Which, I mean, that's going to make it an interesting challenge in the future when I want to go back through and maybe make characters that are the four-armed creatures race and make them more empathetic, and so people care about them more. And so here are the girls. I imagine this will get more views and more attention than the guys. But that said, this is more of a template for future scenes that I hope to draw, so I'll probably be referring to this myself for when I want to design, edit, and draw scenes with my alien races. So thank you for watching if you did. Yes.